Hello, it's Mark here with another alcohol-free beer. Is it suitable for diabetic? So the last beer I reviewed was Bud Zero, which, if you can remember, I didn't particularly like. I classed as a bin. But what do I have in store for you today? Well, as ever, I'm going to change the background, see if you can have a bit of a clue there. So, any ideas? Well, it is Guinness Zero. So Guinness Zero started life with a rather disastrous launch. It was launched in October 2020. However, it was later recalled due to some microbacterial or microbiological contamination issues. After a bit of product redevelopment there, it was relaunched with improved safety and quality and hitting the shelves in August, September 2021. Guinness Zero removes the alcohol using a cold filtration method. The brewing process begins like a regular Guinness with water, barley, hops, and yeast. Then, instead of a full fermentation completing the process, the alcohol is gently removed through a cold filtration process. This method is designed to preserve the beer's flavour and character and to avoid thermal stress, according to the Guinness website. In terms of how good is it for a diabetic, well, let's take a look at this 440 ml can. Well, I purchased this as part of a 4-pack, and it generally retails for around £5.50 to £6 per 4-pack. So you're looking at around £1.35 to about £1.50 per can. Although you can find it a bit cheaper occasionally, as low as £1 a can, and lots of places do sell it more expensive than that. Again, how good is it for a diabetic? Well, it contains 3.8 grams of carbs per 100 ml. So that's 16.7 grams per can. It has 0.7 grams per 100 ml of sugars, which gives it 3.1 grams per can. And in terms of calories, it is 17 calories per 100 ml, which gives it 75 calories per can. So looking at the graph, which is now on screen, you can see that it actually compares really well compared to the other drinks. Slightly more than what Bud Zero has. However, Bud Zero, as I did mention, I wasn't impressed with. So whilst Bud Zero is great in terms of carbs and sugars for diabetic, it doesn't really give an awful lot on flavour. But how does the Guinness Zero stack up? So we're going to go ahead here and pour this can into my Guinness glass here. There we go. So this can just fills into this pint glass quite neatly. So we'll just set that down there to settle for the moment. So you need to be a fan of stouts, really. Certainly be a fan of Guinness to be able to drink this particular drink because it is a stout. But how does it compare in terms of for a diabetic? Well, here we go. Cheers. It's got a creamy texture. It's got those dark caramelized malts. Not particularly strong on the hop, but there is that bitterness there, which is coming from the hops. It is unmistakably Guinness, but it's missing something. And of course, that's the alcohol, because this has no alcohol at all. Well, actually, the can says it's got less than 0.05%, which technically is alcohol free. It's very refreshing. It's quite moorish. It's easy drinking. It does have some sweetness to it, which, if we look at the ingredients there, they just say natural flavorings. They also mention fructose, which would be fruit sugars, if I'm right. So there's a little bit of fructose in there, which is probably what is contributing to the sugars, but it's quite negligible. It's good. It's good for a diabetic, this particular drink. Calories are great. Again, everything in moderation. You wouldn't really want to have too many of these because those carbs and those sugars will add up. You are looking at, let's say, about 4 cans of this would be a meal serving of carbohydrates. So if you're going to be skipping a meal, then 4 of these and that is your meal. So but I wouldn't advise that because nutritionally it's quite poor. But yeah, this is perfectly acceptable drink. It's really tasty, full of flavour, and whilst it hasn't got that fruit hoppiness that I like in the Brooklyn, this is a different style of beer. It's not an IPA style, it's a stout. It's an alcohol-free stout at that. And you know what? I think this is a cracking beer. I really do. I buy this all the time. I'll have one of these and I'll honestly forget that's alcohol-free. I think it's that good. It's not quite as good as the regular Guinness draft, uh, but I think I do prefer it to Guinness Original. And that, for me, is the mark of a successful drink. Quite happy to buy Guinness Zero. If I had a complaint about it, maybe it's a little bit too expensive. It shouldn't be more expensive than the regular version of Guinness. Alcohol-free drinks should always be cheaper than the alcohol versions. People should be encouraged to go for low alcohol drinks because it's better for your health, and that's what this is all about. Good health. So top rank here, Guinness Zero. It's a buy, it's a win, it's a great drink. It's number one on my choice. It's number two on the Diabetic League, but it's number one on my choice. Laters.